recognize that tune, and you know it's time for Relics Radio. This is a family-friendly show, so the entire family can join us as we talk metal detecting and relic hunting. You can call into the show at 270-495-0315 or join in the chat and post any comments or questions you might have, and we'll get to as many of them as we can. You're listening to Relics Radio of Southern Kentucky and Middle Tennessee. All right, we're live again from the foothills of the Cumberland River in Southern Kentucky and Middle Tennessee, and I am your host, Digging with Seven.
And I'm your co-host, Tennessee Jeff.
I wondered if you were there.
Yeah, I'm here. Sure am. So
we're both tired.
Wouldn't miss it.
We're both tired from hunting today, ain't we? We just barely got in.
Yeah. We didn't hunt together today, but both of us had a great day. So I mean,
yeah,
we had a pretty good day. It was a good day to get out and hunt anyway. So
it was, and we're gonna have
weather was nice.
We're gonna have snow on Saturday, so we're gonna get it while we can. We don't get along no more, so we just have to hunt by ourselves and just share it.
That's the way it is. Yeah.
Who we got in the chat tonight, Jeff?
I'm still going through the chat here. Let's see. We got Tim, we got Bill, we got Ken. There's Woody, Nick.
Slow computer.
Am I still on?
Yeah, you're still on. Slow computer down there in Tennessee.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. It is. So.
We got a great show lined up tonight. We have got Heath Jones and Scott Duncan of the History Seekers, and they're going to join us, and we're going to just jump right on in because we want to get to talking about this Equinox. Are you there, guys?
Hey, what's going on, man? I tell you what, I was excited listening to that intro. I really liked that. That got me fired up. I want to talk about some relic hunting.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we're ready to talk about it.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
And the Equinox.
And the Equinox.
And the Equinox. Of course, both of you guys have used one. I've used one just a little bit. Tim let me kind of hold his and swing it just a little bit. But as far as hunt with it, I haven't. And I don't believe you have either, have you, Jeff?
No, I haven't. I know Tim, he's done really well since he's been using that Equinox, and he has the 600. And I mean, of course, he skunked you in a run that day. I mean, I hate to say that, but he done good on them Civil War bullets there.
Well, he didn't actually skunk us because we were out in the field and found some stuff. He was going to fly the drone, and it was a little bit too windy, and so he just got that Equinox out, and right beside my truck, he had never found a Williams cleaner, and right beside my truck, he found 5. And, isn't it funny how you just drive up sometimes, and so many times you park right where the relics are?
That's right. I mean, that Confederate spur I found, I mean, I was on the back of the tailgate and changed detectors and then turned the AT Pro on, and then was ground balancing it, and then bam, there was that Confederate spur right there on the back of the truck. And it is funny like that. And you look at DIV, all the parking areas, I mean, probably the parking areas is some of the best spots to hunt.
Yeah, I think so.
I feel compelled to to walk away from the truck when I get out of it with the detector. I don't know why. It's just like it repels me.
Everybody does that.
We talked about that with one of our guests on our show, Barry Swope. It was the mentality of people. They think they get further away, deeper in the woods, is going to get something that nobody else has gotten to. In reality, usually so much is found right there by the truck because nobody hunts it.
Hey, Heath.
That's right.
Somebody put on here, I think it's Gary, said before we go to talking too much, give everybody an update on Connie, how she's feeling.
Oh, she is much better. Anybody that didn't know, I had to take Connie to the emergency room this morning. She'd been sick ever since we went out hunting Saturday. We got some Mexican food, and apparently we had the chicken and she had the ground beef, and JJ's wife had the ground beef. And good thing we didn't have the ground beef. So they think they got a little dose of food poisoning.
Well,
so she's doing better though. She's sleeping now.
Well, it takes a little while to get over that food poisoning and stuff too. Hey guys,
it does. I've had it one time, and then thought I wasn't going to get over it. I mean, it's terrible.
She's been going through it.
Let's jump in on our topic real quick because I know that Scott has got to leave in an hour. He's got another interview somewhere, so let's jump right into our topic here. Tell us about the Equinox.
Man, it's awesome. What do you want to know? I don't know where to start. I love the machine.
Yeah.
We're impressed with it. We're still we haven't got to relic hunt with it quite as much as we normally do. But we've been doing a lot more coin hunting with it. And it's, man, I'll tell you, it's a coin hound. But we have done some relic hunting and it's done well. So,
I'll tell you, let me just give you let me just give you a little, a little history of the machines that I've had. I started out with an AT Pro and was really proficient at finding bullets with that machine because it seems to love lead. And then I transitioned over to the Deus, and I've found a lot of good stuff with the Deus. But I got to tell you, this Equinox goes, neck and neck with the Deus. I could not tell you right now if the Deus, which machine is better. And probably the truth is one machine's probably better at some things and the other's better at, a few other things. But they are neck and neck in terms of there's not a clear front runner in my mind.
Yeah, I just echo that. I tend to like, personally, I'm already starting to like the Equinox for identification purposes. It, to me, and again, this is very preliminary, guys. I like the identification a little bit better on the Equinox, but I still like the Deus too. I like the balance. I like a lot about that machine as well. And if you use the XY screen in the Deus, it's also pretty good too now at identifying as well.
They're both about the same weight, aren't they?
Yeah, the Equinox is a few ounces heavier. The balance is not quite what the Deus is, but they're close. I mean, either machine you're going to be happy with. If you're coming from another machine, you're going to be pleased with either one you go with.
And I'll tell you.
So how many different frequencies do the Equinox have?
Well, it depends on which version you got. And that's a big misconception right now is on the multi-IQ. So I'm going to say that to the end. Okay. The 600, and guys, let me tell you too, and I'm going to answer that question, but let me tell you, do not overlook the 600 as being subpar or think you've got to have the 800, especially for you relic hunters. That 600 is going to be a good machine for you. But as far as single frequencies, the 600 has the 5, 10, and 15 kilohertz. And then it has multi-IQ. The 800 has 5, 10, or single frequency, 5, 10, 15, 20, and 40 kilohertz on single. And then it has multi-IQ. The multi-IQ version on the 600 and the 800 is identical. This straight from the engineer, the guy that designed the Equinox. Talked to him on a conference. They had a webinar the other day, and there is no difference. They both have the ability to run all of the frequencies in multi-IQ mode. So, if you thought you needed that 20 and 40, and the only reason you didn't want a 600 because you thought you needed the 20 and 40, if you're running in multi-IQ mode, you still have that ability.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Yeah, me and Jeff have had some questions on that, and we're interested. We're talking about getting one, but there's a lot of misinformation out there on them, aren't there?
Yeah, there is. And now the 600's missing a few of the bells and whistles. It doesn't have the gold fill mode. So if you ever plan on going out prospecting, you might want to consider getting the 800. If you know you're not going to prospect, and don't overlook the 600 because it's got the wireless built into it too. And you on Walmart.com, they had a set of headphones that was $56, $57, and they are identical to the ones that the Minelab 800, the Equinox 800 comes with. So, and they work, and there's virtually no latency on them.
Yeah. What I was worried about the 800, the extra two frequencies is bird shot. And we have a lot of bird shot around here, and I'm sure you guys do down there. And then, I mean, you get in that gold mode, and you're going to pick up that bird shot.
Yeah, well, I don't use the gold mode for relic hunting. I mean, I've got it there. I've seen guys that do. I go in the fill mode most of the time, and then I'll get in there and customize, in some of the more advanced settings and set it the way I want to do it. But I'll tell you this, guys, out of the box, that thing, not even ground balancing or anything, is impressive on performance with either version, just out of the box settings.
What do you?
Gary Heckman said, "Okay, Heath, send me your 800, and I'll send you my 600." So.
Oh, Gary, he's always the prankster.
Yeah. What are your impressions, Scott, in the time that you've used one?
Well, I'll tell you, I love any machine that allows me to find one of Heath's bucket list coins that he hasn't found yet. I'll just say that. I found.
Oh, he had to get that one in, didn't he?
Oh, I was going to get that one in. I found a standing liberty with it. We went to like Heath said, we've kind of primarily focused on taking it through the ringer on coins here the last few weeks. And it does extremely well in yards, and it sings. That Minelab, for those of you who have not had Minelab before, they sing when they hit a silver. And, there was no mistake in the two silvers that I dug that one day with the walker, with the standing. And I'm working on a walker now because that's his other bucket lister. And, it really, really, you could. I'm gonna tell you, there's been some talk, and I'm sure he's going to get into this about the lower number of numbers, VDI numbers. But once you use it a little bit and you get the hang of it, the audio and VDI numbers really tell the story and help you identify what's in the ground. So I've really enjoyed it. Coming from a Deus, I was a little worried that it was going to be, not as comfortable to swing, but I had no problem with it. I guess we were out that whole day, Heath, both in the yard, and then we went over to our good friend Jeff Gibbs' permission and hunted some fields, and I wasn't tired at all.
Yeah. It's like our Deus, it's very easy to swing. I've been impressed with it, but guys, what he's not telling you, that he could have found that thing with his pin pointer. Don't get me wrong. Now he's right. He's right about that Minelab singing out on silver, because I dug some deep silver with it this past weekend.
Oh yeah,
in the midst of trash.
And the VDI numbers hold.
Oh yeah, they do. Now when they get in the trash, of course they'll jump around. But sure. one thing you can listen, and one thing I figured out about this machine, very few things, even the trash, get into that silver range and give you that same silver tone as a silver. Very few. So when you get that and you hear that, even in amongst trash, you need to pay attention. I know that's not relics, but
it's the sound. I'm reconnecting and it's live now. Okay. Maybe, I don't know what's going on. We never have had any trouble with it.
Is Butch here somewhere?
No, Butch is not here.
I see Mark Hoover just put that.
Yeah, I was going to blame it on Butch, but
it's Butch's fault.
I don't know.
Can you hear us now, Matt?
Yeah, they can.
Matt, Matt Purdue, can you hear us now?
Well, Matt said it's back.
Okay, it's back. Okay,
it's back. So they missed my tip on how to get Heath to send you a Equinox right away.
Yeah,
for free.
Well, let's just.
They missed that.
Yeah, let's
listen to the recording
for free too.
Yeah,
man, that was a limited time offer. It just expired.
Yeah,
yeah.
You guys just give 5 of them away, and then nobody heard it. So, hey.
Well, the 5
that's
people
too bad, guys. Better luck next time.
Yeah, the 5 people that got them, they heard it. But I used 50 tones in my CTX, and I really, really did like it because I was hunting for flat buttons, relic hunting with it, and a flat button had a certain tone, and I could hear it. I didn't care how much iron that I was going through, I could hear that tone mixed in there. So it takes a while to get used to it. But one question that I had is how do the tones on the Equinox compare to the CTX or the E-Track? Are they basically about the same tone-wise?
Yeah, pretty close. I haven't run an E-Track in several years. I'm more partial to the CTX personally. I have a trouble swinging slow, but yeah, they are very close. The numbers are the conductive numbers. Of course, you only have conductive numbers for those that don't know. You only have conductive numbers on the Equinox, and the numbers are not the same, but the tones are. If you're used to running a Minelab, you're going to feel right at home on 50 tone.
Yeah.
If you're used to running it on other machines.
That was my.
That's what I was worried about when I do get mine is the tones, because I mean I've run the AT Pro and I've run the Macro Racer 2 and I've run the F75, and then the only Minelab is the GPX. And then of course when I watch videos of the Equinox or any Minelab like that, the tones are going to be totally different. And the VDI numbers are going to be totally different. So
yeah, the VDI numbers are different. Of course, it just has the one set on this one, but even like the conductive number, for example, like a penny or a 3-ringer, I think runs like a 32 or 35 conductivity wise on a CTX, if I remember correctly. And you guys that use it all the time, don't kill me if I'm wrong about that. But
mine was about a 34 on it.
Right in that. Yeah, depending on your soil and, but in that range. And we're on this one, I think running like a 16, 17, 18, something like that. So the numbers are vastly different. And now that took a little bit of getting used to, but it's not bad. It's not bad like you think it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it's a decent, repeatable signal, dig it.
Yeah, exactly. And, my rule of thumb, and then depending on if you hunt nickels, or buttons, you want to dig stuff down around 10 and above. And I've heard of some of the little small cuff buttons coming in a little lower than that. But you know what you're looking for. If you're only looking for big buttons and stuff, you want to dig a little bit of the higher numbers. If you're only looking for bullets and plates and stuff like that, 15 and above, you should be good. Again, it's learning it in your soil. And they all act a little different in different soils.
Yeah.
Mark Hoover says, my impression with the Nox is the processor is so fast that you can get so many signals that it sounds like it's chattering, but you just have to slow down. Is that the case?
Yes, that's exactly the case. And I get a lot of people calling about that. And, anybody that's hunted with the Deus, a lot of people say that the Deus is too chattery. But what's happening is you're hearing every little speck of everything that's in the ground. And it's so fast, it's processing through that. You're thinking you're getting a bunch of falses. And if you're not used to having a fast machine, what you're actually doing is hearing all the targets. And because the slower machines, they'd hear one target, it'd take a little bit of time, then reset, and then you'd hear another one, take a little time, then reset. And so where you might think there's only 2 or 3 targets, you might have 5 or 6 targets that you're hearing now. So it takes some time to tune your ear to it, if that makes sense.
And really, it was a more seamless transition for me, but coming from the Deus, because I was used to the chatter.
Yeah.
So
users shouldn't have a problem.
Right. So you pick up this machine and you know that I know what a repeatable signal is versus just chatter, just background chatter of different, things in the soil. I think a lot of times we've talked about this at length on our show, Heath, that I think a lot of times on these battlefields, especially Civil War battlefields, you find a lot of percussion caps that are just completely disintegrated, and they're nothing more than just tiny little rust particles in the soil. We never find percussion caps except for in the coastal sandy areas. Up here in Alabama, northern Alabama and Georgia, you get a lot of these little bouncy signals around and about. You dig them, and there's nothing. And I really think it's just whatever's left of percussion caps and that sort of thing.
Just the halo.
But you dig those
probably
with the Deus too, and it's just like the red clay eats them. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But we get down around Mobile and down that way, and man, we dig percussion caps. Yeah. I've dug some small. Somebody was saying something about worried about digging the small stuff. You can tell it. It's easy to do. Because it'll just blip on you. You'll hear it, but it'll blip on you. And when you go to pinpoint, you go on and off of it just by barely moving your coil. It's something small. So yes, it does pick up those small things. But if you'll take your time with it, you should be able to tell that it's small and then decide if you want to dig it. Like Scott was digging the first day out with these things. Me and Scott both dug, I bet you, a handful of buckshot. Bucking ball.
I tell you what, though, if it blips and sings, you better dig it.
Yeah. Let me see.
I've got a pro tip for you. Another Scott pro tip.
Okay.
Take everybody's watched baseball from time to time, right? So take your old detector once you get your knocks, and go to the batter's box and swing it around for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then pick the knocks up and go out, and you'll feel like it's a feather.
Yeah.
I bet so.
It's like putting weights on.
I know that GPX gets heavy every now and then, especially if you're DIV and you're swinging it for 12 hours. So,
Plugmaster Ford is in, and he and we talk back and forth quite a bit, text back and forth or talk on the phone, and he just got a 600, and they took that to their big silver horde and tried it and just of course they didn't get to do a lot of testing with it there, but I think he's liking his. And he's got a 600.
Yeah, he said he was impressed with it. Through all the iron that they having to dig through, he said he was very impressed with it. So,
and that thing, don't get me wrong, it's a fast machine, but just like the Deus, it's fast. And when the Deus came out with the elliptical coil, man, Scott and I went back to places that we'd beat to death, and we started.
And why haven't I gotten mine in the mail yet? I've been looking on the porch every day.
Hey, Lloyd, just take his mic away. Just take it away.
We dropped out again.
Missouri Mike.
Go ahead.
He said, Jeff Ford said, Missouri Mike busted his first seated dime today with the Knox.
Very nice.
Congratulations.
Yeah. That's good.
But to answer the question that Scott was talking about with when the coil's going to be here, they had anticipated April or May, but I think those are getting pushed on into summer now, and they may tell me tomorrow they're coming. But from my understanding, the reason why is because this machine has been so popular, they don't want to stop making 11-inch coils, and they would have to stop making the 11-inch coils to start making the 6s. And if they do that then puts them behind making the 800s and the 600s, since that 11-inch coil is stock. So that's the reason we're seeing some hold up on the other coils, from my understanding.
Yeah,
but they were saying summertime. So
we dropped out again for just a second, and I tell you exactly when it happened, because I've been watching it to make sure, is every time Scott gives one of those great pro tips, we drop out.
My best material is getting erased from history.
Yes, it is.
And it's ironically, it's the same time that we give away a Knox every time. I don't know what is going on with that.
I have no idea.
Well, I'll tell you what, I heard it anyway, so I expect mine in the mail.
Hey, man, it'll be on the way to you.
Okay.
we never have any trouble like this. I don't know what the deal is. I guess.
And it's following me tonight.
Yeah, I guess so.
Solar flares.
The different kind of hunters that we generally have that listen to our show, watch our videos, and what have you. Well, I'd say most of the people that watch our videos are relic hunters, because that's basically what we do. We don't do a lot of Cohen shooting, but there is a great big difference in those those two aspects of hunting. When you're a Cohen shooter, you want to be able to tell the difference between, a pull tab and a nickel. And people learned to do that with the CTX, and it's a great machine for that. But when you're a relic hunter, you're not really trying to, pick out one target over another target. It's just, is that iron? Is it a nail? Or is it, something that might be a good relic that I want to dig? So
right.
How does this machine stack up on that?
Well, I think it does really well, and that's another good argument for using two-tone, and where basically your ferrous has a tone, and then everything else that's non-ferrous has a tone, and I really like that. Anybody that's run a G2 Plus, I don't know, I'm sure there's relic hunters, there's probably several out there. This machine has something, it's not like V-Brake, but it's where you can basically turn the volume up, or at least the 800 has it. Let me say that. You can find segments, like say you want to do anything from 19 to 30. You can set that, so the volume's higher on that for that segment, and you want all your iron to be just real low. You can do that. So that can really help too. That's a pro tip, Scott. How about that? That's a tech pro tip. Where basically you can make the stuff that you want to hear louder, and the stuff that you know is trash or you don't want to dig, you can set it lower. And you can do that with the 800. I don't believe you. I'm pretty sure in saying this, you can't do that with a 600.
Well, see, the CTX had those. If you wanted the nickel range, which was anywhere from like 11 to 13, maybe 14. You could take the CTX and you could make that a high tone. You could segment the tones with the numbers, whatever you wanted. And my understanding is you can do that with 800, but you can't with the 600. And I tried that.
That's true.
I tried that.
That's true, but there's an addition to that, Lloyd, where you can also make that louder as well. Not only can you make it a high tone, you can make it a loud high tone. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
The volume-wise.
Right, and you couldn't do that on CTX, to my knowledge.
Right.
And I finally got away from it because I think every hunter needs to learn tones. I'm old school. I started with tones, and I think every hunter needs to learn tones, and you need to hear them as they come out of the ground, because once you learn that, then you kind of know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
What you're listening for,
I very seldom. I'm now on new machines. I do, but once I learn a machine, I very seldom use the VDI, and Heath can attest to that.
Oh yeah,
I'm the same way.
Well, especially relic hunting. You get a solid target's a solid target. Yeah.
I seen that.
And most of the time, if it's a solid target, it's a good target. Unless you get like can slaw or something like that. But I've went for a few years now and then not even look at the VDI. So,
I'll tell you, talking about can slaw, I'm glad you brought that up. JJ Holt, who actually, he bought his machine. He probably has more hours on his machine than I do, just because I've been stuck in the office so much. He told me that he's noticed when you're pinpointing, that can slaw just has this high pitched ring in the pinpoint, whereas other stuff does not. And that's true. I've noticed that. Now, I haven't found any real deep yet, so take that with a grain of salt. But you may listen to that too. That may telegraph that can slaw. That sounds real good too.
Speaking of JJ, he has put some time in relic hunting with the Knox, and he has been picking out some amazing relics in trashy areas of fields that the others just weren't able to get. And he found a Confederate button, and he found a bit boss, I think it was, and
under a big old iron nail, a massive iron nail that was about 6 inches higher than the bit boss.
That's right,
sitting directly over top. Yeah.
Yep.
And had been passed over by other machines. I mean, we've got this little section of field at Jeff's permission, and Jeff Gibbs, another friend of ours, and he's got an Equinox now too. We made some believers up here. But this field has been pounded by AT Pros, by CTXs, Deuses. It's been pounded, more so by the AT Pros, but he went in there and just slammed that bit boss. That bit boss, he said, was like 11, 12 inches under iron.
And on the AT Pro, even today, and I've noticed it, I especially noticed it on bullets and things, buck balls and things like that. But even on some of the buttons that I found today, you're getting mainly an iron sound out of it. But you can hear that high tone or that mid tone trying to break in. And it's kind of, it's kind of repeatable. But 2 or 3 of those I dug today were cuff buttons. What does the Equinox do in a situation like that, where the relic is good, only it's just deep?
Well, now you're going to get some bounce in it. So, you're going to dig some trash targets too. I ain't going to sit here and tell you you're going to dig just only good targets with this machine. You are going to dig some trash. And I went out and farmed square nails in a place just digging iffy targets. You're going to do that. But now with that said, it still locks on pretty hard on brass targets and stuff like that. So, it's just when they get deep, then it'll start to jump on you. And then you got to decide if you want to take the chance. The same way with the GPX. You know how when they get real deep, you don't get that long pause to tell you it's trash or not.
Yeah.
It's the same way with this machine.
And
I've got that a lot.
And there's no machine that's going to be perfect. It depends on depth.
It's not.
It depends on ground conditions. It even depends on, as we talked, I think Tuesday night on moon phase. All of those things kind of come into to play on that. I seen that Barb put our number in the chat there a while ago. We're going to open up the lines. If you've got a question for Heath Jones or Scott Duncan, it's 270-495-0315. There may be a question that you have on the Equinox, and we'd kind of like to stay on that subject tonight because that's what we dedicated the show for. So if you have a question, or even if you've used an Equinox and you've got something to add, well, by all means, call in.
Yeah, we don't claim to be the end-all, save-all knowledge base on this machine. We've got some time on it, but,
we're still learning.
There's guys that's got more hours on it than I do. I'm going to be honest with you, Loy. And the iron, I don't know if you guys have read much about the iron bias. I'm still learning some of that. I've got some theories behind it.
I've been watching several YouTube channels. It was about the iron bias, and it kind of gets confusing. That's why you need one in your hand just to play with it. Just to figure out what it does. But you may be able to explain a little bit more about it.
I'm going to try, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know as much about the iron bias as some of these other guys have used it a little more than I have. And let me back up just a second more from that and say, if you're a new user or maybe you're thinking about getting this machine, don't worry. I know this sounds really scary and it's all these settings. It's not. This machine has basically park or field mode. You select one, you can go. But if you're a power user and you want to get into the advanced features, you have that ability. And that's what when we talk about iron bias now, we're talking about advanced features. You actually have to do a long press of a button to even get into this. I like to call the advanced section. To get into that, if you guys have one, you hadn't figured out what it is yet, when you go over to recovery speed, then you long press the gear, the little cog gear button, and you go into the iron bias. From my understanding of the iron bias, it's basically, how you'll have metals that are made up of different metal, or objects are made up of different metals. It's trying to decide if the target's good or if it's bad, and it kind of tries to prevent some of the falsing you get from, like, say, square nails. You get those big round bulb on them. You know what I'm talking about, Loy? That gives you that real good signal, but you also get some bounce with it too.
Yeah. And you'll get a good high tone off depending on how a nail points, off the point of a nail a lot of times.
Yeah, and off the head. So what this is supposed to do is the more iron bias you add, the more it's not going to false, and it's going to quieten your machine down. The trade-off is you are going to be more subject to masking, and you might miss that coin. That's the trade-off. So I've got a theory, guys, and I like to relate a lot of stuff to the Deus, and don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing the machines, but I've used the Deus so much, and a lot of these relic hunters that are listening to the show probably do as well. And there's in the expert setting in the recovery speed, there is that setting where you can set basically that filter to -1 and turn it off. It's where it lets through all of those settings, or lets through all of those tones. You're going to get a lot of chat, and you're going to get a lot of falsing by doing that. But I also found on the Deus that you get more depth. So right now I'm starting to test that, see if I can pick up a little more depth by turning that iron bias all the way down. So that I know that I'll dig trash by doing that, but my hopes are that we can also pick up a little more depth. And I'm okay with digging trash if I can squeak every inch of depth I can out of it. So like I say, I don't recommend getting in that thing. And if you're not a little bit of a power user or kind of have some understanding of it, but if you get in there and you mess up the settings, you don't know what to do, you can always do a factory reset on your machine.
Well, here's how Tennessee Jeff and I run our AT Pros. We run it in Pro Zero and the iron disc all the way down. So we are actually hearing everything. Now, you have to learn to hunt like that because you are hearing everything. How do you do that on the Nox? If you're in field mode or park mode, are you adding discrimination is my question.
Oh, you talking about just standard discrimination? Personally, I don't, and I feel like you lose some depth when you do. I hit that horseshoe, and I like to hear it all, and unless I just can't stand it anymore, which is rare. So that's the way I hunt. Scott, are you hunting that way too?
Yeah, I'm hunting basically the same way you are, and the basic premise is when you start off with a new machine like that, you wanna go basic, and then you wanna tweak it more advanced one at a time, one setting at a time. That's basically what I do.
Oh yeah,
and including learning the 50 tones. I just kind of started off with 5, and I'm starting to learn the 50.
Well, a lot of times,
into everything.
A lot of times, if you're relic hunting, like he said a while ago, 2-tone is pretty good, or moving up to 5.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I just personally like the 50-tone. But
I do too.
Yeah. What other things? You said you were going to say more about something. Have you already covered that, Heath?
Oh heck, yeah! I think it was about the iron bias. I think I don't remember.
I think it was.
Y'all call me and ask me if I forgot something.
What I'm really curious about, which none of us have been brave enough to test out yet, is the water performance of the machine. So that's coming here in the next 60 days, I guess. Once and for all, quits being 30 degrees when I wake up, or snow for you.
Yeah,
up there.
Well. I tell you, and of course, guys, you probably watch videos. This is probably not news to you. Talking about water, and this is not really relic hunting, but beach hunting. Ed Huffman took it to the beach in the salt water. I haven't tested it yet, but he said that thing runs smooth as silk in salt water. So,
and that's
great.
one.
If you plan on carrying it to the beach,
that's one advantage that you're going to have over a Deus, because the Nox is waterproof and the Deus is not.
Yeah, I mean, you can make that Deus waterproof, but I'm going to be honest with you. That machine's not meant. That's a dry land machine. Can you make it waterproof? Absolutely. Is it ideal? No. I personally don't like that clip that you have to have for that antenna. You get in the water and getting trash and limbs, and it's going to rip that thing off. And if you're a big water hunter, I would definitely say you need to look at that Equinox.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got Dave Miller in the house. He said, hi, Lloyd and Jeff. Hello, Dave. And then Tim Henderson, he said, yes, more depth, the lower the iron bias. So.
Right.
And how low can you go on that? Was you saying -1?
I believe it's 0 to 9, or maybe 1 to 9. I can't remember.
Zero.
On the 800.
I believe is as low as you can go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what were you going -1 on a while ago then when you were talking?
Oh, I was talking about the Deus. I was comparing.
Yeah. Oh,
the
okay.
Deus.
Okay. Yeah, I've got both machines mixed up.
Well, I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't even said that, but.
Well, I mean, quite honestly, there's a reason why you compare it to the Deus a lot, and it's not just because you own a Deus. This machine is in many ways similar to the Deus.
I think this is a Deus competitor. I really do. Do I think I'm not going to tell anybody sell your Deus and get this machine? I'm not going to tell you that because you've got a great machine. The Deus is one of the premier relic machines out there. But if you want something else, you like the idea of multi-frequency, you want an out-of-the-box water machine, I think you'd really be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't look at the Equinox.
Well, and I own a Deus. I intend to keep the Deus. Yep. And yet in some days there are some days that you and I go out and we know what we're going to be hunting for in a patch of woods, and that's what we're going to be hunting for, and I might take the Deus if it's the right conditions for it. But there are some days when we know that we may spend half the day doing one thing and half the day doing the other. And I think the Nox has that versatility to go from trashy areas to yards and then to the field or to the woods to do relics as well. So that's what I went ahead and bought one, even though Heath didn't give me a sweet deal or anything. I mean, I bought one myself and, I had to beg.
And I made him wait too.
Yeah. I had to beg permission from the wife, just like everybody else and everything else. But I thought, it's worth it to have that versatility. If I know that I may be doing some mixed type, it's kind of like choosing a golf club. I'm not even a golfer, but I know this. You kind of choose a golf club based on what you're going to be doing, and that Nox has the versatility. If I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to, that I'm going to be doing one thing all day in a certain condition.
Yeah. And
that's good. It seems like if you have the Deus and the Nox, that's pretty much all the arsenal you'll need. I mean,
that's
especially around our area. So
for relic hunting.
But I think Gary, he put hey, if you're waiting on getting the Nox, you've got a year to study before you get it. So I guess, especially the 800, the 800, they're pretty far behind. So
it ain't that bad. It might be 6 months, but we're actually about we're over halfway through our list, and I'm kind of aggravated a little bit about that, but to be fair to Minelab, they didn't realize how popular this machine was going to be either. They knew it was going to be hot, but this machine caught on. And so what happened was...
Go ahead.
I was just going to say...
Well, you look, this Nox is like, it's the main thing out right now. With the multi-frequencies. And, everybody's wanting one. And even the Deus lovers, of course, the YouTube videos I've been watching, the guy, he's a big Deus lover. And, he's comparing it with the Deus. And he's not up 100% on the Nox yet. But he said that, it's like you've got all the multi-frequencies working at the same time as on the Deus. You have to set it on a different frequency. So, right. It's a lot of Noxes going out right now, and they are busy. So.
Oh yeah, we had about 100 on pre-order, and a little over 100 really. Then we had some cancellations, of course, and we understand that. But I think we've got 10 more coming or so. We're going to have about 60 of them out as of this week or first part of next week, and then we got some more coming right after those. So I'm hoping, and don't hold me to this, if you're on my list waiting, I'm hoping to have our 800s cleared up by the end of the month. That's not a promise. That's my estimates. It could change. It could be sooner, could be later. But that's my hope. So we're trying. We're really not taking any more 800 orders right now, unless somebody they say, hey, we got to order them from you. And that's fine. I say, if you don't mind waiting and you understand, I'll put you on the list. But other than that, we're trying not to take any more 800 orders till we get them all filled.
Jason, the quarter hoarder, he just came in and he missed this a while ago because I think you touched on this, but he said, are there wireless headphones available for the 600? That's what you were talking about at Walmart, wasn't it?
Yes, there are. What you need, the 600 has the wireless built into the machine already. It just does not come with the wireless headphones. We have found a set of headphones. They are identical to the Minelab ones. You can get them at Walmart. I think they're sold out now, though, by the way. They were $57. They came with the exact same case the Minelab ones did, everything. But you need any aptX low latency technology headphones will work. It has to be aptX low latency. I mean, it'll pair with any Bluetooth, but if you get the slower, older Bluetooth, what's going to happen is you're going to have lag, and you are not going to be happy. So make sure you get that faster aptX low latency technology.
Heath, now that's a good point. Now I've only ever used the Bluetooth on mine, but you did have the first time or two we went out on it. You used the other method of wireless, and tell us about your experiences there.
Well, boy, you put me on the spot with that one. I tell you what. All right,
have we lost connection yet? Have we lost? This is
no.
You're breaking up, guys. You're breaking up.
You're about to give one away, huh?
You want me to go?
I'm about to give one away. We're going to fade out.
Yeah, you want me to go to a bumper here real quick?
Yeah. Look, Gary Heckman's already heckling me in the chat room saying, be honest. Okay, well, here it is. Minelab's going to be real mad at me for saying this. I do not like that WM8 module. I'm going to throw that out there. Is there anything wrong with it? No. Is it bad? No, it's not. It's just my preference, I don't like it. Let me tell you why. I think it's overkill. I mean, is it a bad thing to have the very fastest audio available? No, it's not a bad thing. And I could foresee scenarios where you might want it. But the difference is, and from my understanding, the latency on that, while it's the fastest available, the human eye can't tell the difference. And if the human eye can't tell the difference, then perception's reality, and why do you need it?
You mean the ear?
To me,
the human ear.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The eye and the ear, because you got the perceived lag by like seeing where your coil is to what you're hearing. Okay. Does that make sense? So you got hearing and sight.
Right.
Yeah. So basically by lag, I'm saying your coil's moved off the target, then you hear it. Okay. Right. So that's what I mean by lag.
I just thought you got all tore up and said you had instead of you hear.
No. It's sort of that between when you see it and when you hear it, and it's so fractional. It's measured in milliseconds. So, and I mean, it's imperceivable really. Anything under about 200 milliseconds, the human eye and ear, the human brain cannot process anything faster than about the difference from about 200 milliseconds. So, and we're talking about stuff that's between 15 milliseconds and 50 or 60 milliseconds. You can't tell the difference. So why tie yourself and actually introduce a wire to something that you couldn't really tell much difference in anyway? That's my opinion. Now, the guys, that's an opinion. Okay. There's some people, they may think they can see the difference. I can't see it. And so I just don't care for that WM8 module. You got it if you need it. You got it if you want to try to put different headphones, like wired headphones in, and you can use that. The other complaint I had with it was you have to have an adapter because it's 1/8 inch. So if you've got your favorite, like say Gray Ghost headphones or Killer Bees or whatever, you're going to have a $5 adapter from Walmart to plug into that WM8, and also in the back of the detector if you wanted to use it wired. because it only has an 1/8" connector rather than a standard quarter like all the other machines have, or most of the other machines. That's my only real complaint with the machine. It's not a deal breaker. And I mean, heck, I own one and going to keep one because I like the performance. But I like it using it just with the headphones, the wireless headphones that come with the 800. That's the way I'm using it, and I've been very happy with the results.
Well, unless you know, you kind of danced around why, and I'll just tell you why. Because in relic hunting, you know, unless you're in a field, a lot of times that cord's going to get hung up, and it's going to get pulled on by branches, and it's going to knock the headphones off your head. And I'm going to tell you something: when you're not finding anything and you're on the hunt, there's nothing. I mean, I get into a fist fight with a tree over that kind of stuff.
Hey guys, we got a caller that came in, 2634. Who have we got? Are you on yet? Maybe not.
Didn't want to talk to me.
I don't know. I put Adam to the group, and
who would?
and they popped out.
Can y'all mute him? Can y'all mute Scott the rest of the show?
Yeah, y'all were talking about the headphones, the wireless headphones. The places 7 I hunt, I mean, 7, would that not be handy?
Well,
how many times if we're hunting with the headphones, of course, normally we don't, but if there's a lot of times we have, and you just get wrapped up in the briars and stuff.
Yeah, and that was going to be my question, but caller 2634, you're on Relics Radio now. Have you got a question?
Hey guys, this is Ed Travis. Couple of questions. One is on the Equinox. As you get over a target, I hunt with a GPX or an old white Seagull Spectrum. They draw you into that target. Do you get that with the Equinox, or do you pretty much have to be over that target, almost on top of it, before it sounds off?
Depends on the target. I found that the ferrous targets, the iron, man, you can hear those things. Well, you know, because they cast a halo. It's like every other double D detector. I mean, I can't see a difference in there because it is double D. You will catch that halo a lot wider. You know, on the outskirts of the coil, on the outer rings of the coil. And of course, same thing. I will tell you this about that machine though. If you've used, and of course, you know from using a GPX about overload, and you CTX users and F75 users, y'all all know about overload. I was talking to my Minelab rep, and she was telling me how you can get a lot closer to the chain link fences without getting the you know, that false signal. You can get a little bit closer than you could with some other machines. I haven't tested that yet, but I'm very interested for people hunting close to chain link fences and stuff.
That would help for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And
open up some new ground that we hadn't touched, maybe close to those fences. I don't know how
half the remaining plates in the United States are probably right under a chain link fence.
They
are close to it. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I don't know if that answers your question. Yeah, I don't know if that answers your question or not, but I figure if you can get a little closer to the chain link fence, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I had the old SE Pro years ago, and you had to be almost over the target before, you know, it didn't draw you in there from as far away from it. So you just had to be a little more careful hunting. About the coils, these coils, the brains are not in these coils, correct? Is that just on the dais?
That's right. Yeah. The internal parts that make that thing work are up towards your handle and control piece. That's just the dais. I think dais has a patent on that. I could be wrong about that. I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah. The wireless headphones on the 800, what, as far as the running time on it versus the detector itself, that pretty much going to run 10, 12 hours?
Yeah, I think so. I think you might get a little more time out of those headphones from what I can tell. I've neglected to charge my headphones, and I ran out of detector juice before I ran out of headphone juice, if that makes sense to you. But about 12 hours is what they say. Yeah, I always like to figure on the low side and 10 to 12. But before we came on the air, Tennessee Jeff was saying that somebody had tested it and just left it on with the threshold running, and it got a full 12 hours. So, I can believe that.
And
if
they also
you're
said
be out there
that
all day,
if
I'd
you're
charge it.
using your headphones, it will run longer too. So, I mean, that's a good thing.
Oh yeah. Those speakers take up some, apparently, with any machine. Not using your headphones will eat that battery down.
Yeah, I can't keep up with batteries with the 7. Of course,
Hey, great call.
I hope those answered your questions, Ed, and thanks for calling us, brother. It's yours. I know you're on our Equinox list too, so we appreciate your business.
66, I think. So
yeah, we coming up on you rapidly, probably this week or next.
Great. So, do you charge the headphones with the same cord that you do the detector?
No, it's got the little small USB. So same one that I think, Scott, I think it's the same one that those Samsung phones use, the little smaller USB.
Right. Yeah, I think
what do they call that? Micro, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so.
The only thing proprietary that you got to have the Minelab charger is the one for the detector. And by the way, it comes with 2 of them, and the 800 comes with 2 chargers. I've already lost both of them. I'm having to bum one off one of my hunting buddies. Anybody that's hunted with me understands.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Hey, one more thing, Ed, too, real quick. That brings me something I need to touch on with those chargers. I'm glad that came up. Guys, when you're taking that charger off, slide that thing to the side. Don't yank it straight back off. They had some problems with people tearing up their connectors, pulling it straight off. It's a magnetic, and it's pretty strong. So slide that thing to the side and slide it off charge when you take it off charge. Very, very important.
That's good to know. I mean, that's good information.
Yeah.
It comes with the cord for connecting, but you need the little transformer, correct?
You do need the transformer. Your Apple iPod or iPad chargers work fine. Find one that's got CE. For the 4-hour charge time, they recommend 2 amps. It may also say 2,000 milliamp. And pretty much all of the USB plugs are 5-volt standard. So just look at the amperage and look for that CE symbol on there. Like I say, the Apple ones work. I've found that the little small Apple iPhone ones, the little smaller block, takes a little bit longer to charge because it's only like 500 milliamps. So takes a little bit longer. Not going to hurt it. Just takes longer.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, I appreciate your time.
Hey, thanks for
Yes,
calling
sir.
in.
Thanks for calling in.
We had a good question too, guys. I saw in the chat. Matt
Purdue. Yep. How's the knocks around EMI?
Well, it's like any hot detector that gets a lot of depth. You can expect some EMI. One of the things I've seen is just like with any machine, people try to run that thing wide open and trying to get the most out of it. And I understand that, but guys, you'll be surprised at what you can do not running a machine wide open. I've found that I can only run that machine about 22. Sometime I can get away with 23, but I'm already here in chat. So find where it starts to chatter and start backing it down till you can stand it. I found about 22 is the magic number. I've had to go down to as low as 18, and I've heard of people having to go down to 15. You're still going to get good depth. What you're going to do, those deep targets are just going to sound a little more faint to you if you have to go down. But you'll pick them up, believe it or not, better if you're not listening to a lot of chatter. So Don't be afraid to turn that machine down. Also, make sure you noise cancel every time you change programs. Always noise cancel.
Gary Hickman, he had a question. Can you charge Knox with a cigarette lighter? Do they have a charger for your cigarette lighter?
Yeah, I sure can.
Yeah, I think they're going to come out with one from Minelab. I'll be honest with you guys, man. Get you a good quality one. Don't stop at the gas station and buy one of those cheap ones right off the boat from China. Go get you a good one and look for that CE symbol. That means it's tested and certified, so you don't fry your machine. Outside of that, you're good to go. Just get you a good quality one.
We're coming up on 8 o'clock, and I think Scott said he had to get out. Are you going to leave us now, Scott?
Yeah, I'm going to drop off, but I want to invite everyone out there. If you don't know your number in line for Heath's pre-orders, go ahead and give a call.
You see what I had to put up with?
I have been waiting 15 minutes to say that.
I know you have.
I put the number up there.
Yeah.
Well,
guys, y'all just call me.
Guys, thanks for having me on, and y'all continue on the conversation.
Hey, thanks, Scott. And,
thanks for being on.
It was
our pleasure.
Thanks, Scott.
Hey, no problem, buddy.
It was a pleasure filling in for you the past 2 Tuesdays, but I'm glad that you're back.
I'm sure you are. I wouldn't want to hang out with Heath 2 Tuesdays in a row either.
Oh, we had a great time. But thanks for coming on the show, and everybody remember that Heath and Scott are on History Seekers every Tuesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern time, so you can pick up this argument then next Tuesday.
Thanks, guys.
We're always going back and forth on something. We'll see you, Scott. Take care, buddy.
All right.
Let me pay some bills here real quick, and then we'll be right back.
All right.
If your passion is metal detecting, then you know how much your success is based on the equipment you use. Let my buddy Tim Henderson of Murray Branch Outdoors in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, help you with that. Tim is an authorized dealer of Garrett, XP Deus, Tesoro, and macro detectors and supplies. He also carries a variety of aftermarket coils. Murray Branch Outdoors is not only competitive in their prices, but the service after the sale is second to none. You know, we've all experienced those situations where we purchase a new detector and then we get out in the field and we have questions about settings or operation of that particular detector. Well, I tell you what, with your purchase from Murray Branch Outdoors, you're also going to get Tim's personal cell phone number. That's right, his own cell phone number, and you're just a quick phone call away from getting answers to those questions. Now try that with some chain store purchase of a detector. Murray Branch Outdoors also deals in used detectors, and he'll give you top dollar for your trade-in whenever you decide to upgrade. So give Tim of Murray Branch Outdoors a call at 615-948-4611 and tell him Relics Radio said hey. And also, our phone lines are still open. Heath can answer your questions on the Equinox, or he'll give it a stab. It's 270-495-0315. Did we have any other questions that you guys noticed in the chat? Mine's pretty well locked up.
Searching, I hadn't seen it.
I want to take a second too. I listened to your commercial there. I've met Tim at the Murfreesboro Club, and he is an outstanding guy. By the way, he is top notch.
He is. I love hunting with him and Ron, and had the opportunity 2 or 3 times to do that. And they're both great people. Me and Jeff can tell some stories. I tell you, hunting with those guys.
Oh yeah,
yeah, we can getting chased by a bull and all that. Yeah, it was an adventure. So
yeah,
but
it was fun.
Yeah, Seven and I, we were hunting a farm a couple of days ago, and then of course I popped this rise, and then there was a big Brahma bull out there, and I was like, well, I know how this went last time, so I'm just going to turn around. the best looking spot on the whole farm, and there that bull was standing right in the middle of it. And then, so hopefully we can hit that spot next time. So,
yeah, that's where I got that's where I got all those buttons at today, Jeff.
I wouldn't doubt it.
What have you got to add, Heath?
Yeah.
I don't know what time you were wanting to get out, but
man, I'm here as long as you guys want me here. If y'all got questions, I'll hang around. I can talk to myself for an hour.
Yeah, I know. My question was, and I love hunting without headphones. I know it drains your batteries quicker, and I know that there are a lot of people that don't like that. Now, I like it hunting with Jeff because I can hear his signals. I can hear my signals. I know if the debris field is still in his area, you know.
Right.
Is there any problem with hunting without headphones with an ox?
Well, no. I mean, if that's what you like, it's fine. It's a good loud machine. You've got volume control that you can control your volume right there where some machines don't. So you can actually control that speaker right there on your machine. You know,
that is a good thing. Right?
Yeah, and that's good. So if you don't want it to be too loud, so it's just not echoing everywhere. But you do give up those deep targets. You might miss that real faint signal. That'd be the only thing. But for filming, I totally understand. I wish they had some way of hooking up. I guess you could do a splitter and maybe hook it up so that people could hear it and you could hear through the headphones. That'd be nice.
Yep. We've got another caller that came in, 7398. You need to turn your speakers down. We're getting feedback on it. 7398, are you there?
I am.
Okay. Who we got?
Mike Clutter.
Hey, Missouri Mike. What's going on?
Hey, hello, Mike. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, pretty
that
good.
was Jeff in the background, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was talking.
Yeah. Well, he's like Loy always talks.
Oh, yeah.
He could talk to himself for an hour, too, couldn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He could.
Yeah, he's a good guy, though. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So you found a seated today with...
I did, yeah. Yep, sure did.
Congratulations.
Good deal.
Yeah, a long time to get that. It was a long time coming. It was pretty slick, though. It was wore out. There wasn't much left on it. It sure wasn't.
What year was it?
1882.
Oh, nice.
1882. Congratulations. That's a good
There
thing.
wasn't much left, but Jeff, he's got a real fancy cell phone. Takes good pictures and pulled it right out today.
Well, that's good. It belongs to you now, buddy.
It does. It's going in the display case, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a good one.
Good find, man. And so you found that with a Knox, right?
Right. Yep.
Oh, good deal. It ring up that real high tone, that 30, 34, 35.
It actually hit 28. Really? It was real slick, and there was actually a bolt and another piece of iron in the hull with it. And there was like 3 targets in there, and that may have been why it knocked it down a little bit on the tone. It's only about 5 inches deep or so, but it didn't. I mean, it had a high tone, but it wasn't up in it was 28. And I looked at it before I dug it.
That's one of the things that I was going to mention to everybody. When you get an iron trash, now you'll still hear that high tone, but don't count on the VDI number if you got just a ton of iron trash, because it will lower the VDI numbers of targets of silvers. Yeah. So other machines do it too. But,
I was fixing to say that.
To keep in mind,
you've got that no matter what machine you've got.
Yeah, it's just the reality we have to live with machines and the technology that they've got out today.
Hey, Mike, was it a spot that you've hunted before, or was this a new site?
We was door knocking today, which we do a lot of that, where we, get permissions on older places, and we mainly coin hunt. We don't do just a lot of relics, but it's mainly coins, yards and stuff, older places, do a lot of that. And that's what me and Jeff mainly, do. But the yard we were in today, and we had, 2 different yards, but I was running it in the 50 tone, but it was so much trash. I could not believe, it was an older home site, but man, there was a lot of trash in there, and it almost, it was like constantly deep. Just all the time, it was just that trashy a yard. And I tried turning the sensitivity down and, messing with it a little bit, but trying to get it to quieten up a little bit because it was just so trashy. It was hard to hear anything,
Now, did you buy one or was you using Jeff's 600?
I got a 600 and I went ahead and I bought the low latency headphones from Dante from Amazon. And they were really nice. They were $69. Come with a real nice canvas case, and they've got real soft ear over the ear. Parts goes over your ears. But they were really nice. They've got volume control on them, left and right, and they even come with like a 6-foot cord. You can hook it direct to the machine. One of the problems that I've seen with the adapter, if you get a big adapter and you try to run your adapter straight from your machine to the like using your normal headphones, and you get a 1/4-inch adapter to downsize it, you have to be careful because that housing around that little hole that goes in the back where you unscrew that black thing, or where the thing unscrews, and you plug it in. The housing on the one I had was too big to fit. You have to almost get some special housing on the adapter. It won't even fit in the plug in the back. But I was going to direct wire my Gray Ghost into that, and they wouldn't work. So I ended up using the stock ones that came with it first time out, and then went ahead and got the wireless ones. But yeah, they do have to be the low latency kind. You have to kind of be careful because there's a lot of them out there that say aptX on them, but I don't know if they'll work or not because some of them say aptX and they say no low latency, and then there was some of them that actually said low latency on them, and those are the ones that I got was the ones that said it. So, but they worked great with it, paired right up, didn't have any problems with it. I was kind of worried about them being compatible. They were the 4.1 version of headphones, but they linked up. They were solid. They didn't have any issues at all. I think the millisecond on those was 0.032 also. They were pretty fast. Of course, like you say, it's faster than what you need, but they work great.
That's good.
So both of you guys then took the plunge and got the Knox then.
Yeah, I got the 600. Jeff got it, and I love it. It's really great. I think it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve because I'm not used to it. But,
yeah, that was my problem. I was worried about the sounds, and then I'm not used to a Minelab like E-Track or Safari, anything like that. No, I'm just more or less used to the AT Pro F75. And then, of course, you watch the videos, and then, of course, it is the Equinox is singing pretty good. So it's going to, I see it's a pretty good learning curve.
A lot of the yards, you got to take into consideration that, 100-year-old house has probably been lived in quite a while, and several probably families has been in it over the years. So there's lots of trash, between the foil and the nails and everything else that you would have,
Hey,
I've got to cut through all that stuff to get down to the good stuff a lot of times.
Yeah. Heath, you might touch on what he's talking about on the adapter. The case on the adapter, I take it is too large to plug in. Is that the case?
Well, yeah, it's got sort of a lip that comes out on it to where you screw that little cap that goes on there. And I think that's what's probably preventing him. What I was going to mention, I've seen some people that found these little pigtail looking things, kind of like that little pigtail the AT Pro had for an adapter, something very similar to that where you could plug in the 1/8" jack into the into the back of the detector, and then it had that little pigtail, and then plug your 1/4" into that female receiver on the end of the pigtail.
Minelab sells that pigtail for it, doesn't it? Or don't they?
I haven't seen one. I haven't seen it. They might, but I haven't seen it yet. I don't think they have any dedicated accessories out yet that I've seen.
I doubt that they would. They don't even have all the coils yet, so that would be a priority.
They were saying expect the waterproof headphones in about 10 weeks, and that's been about a week or so ago. 10 weeks or 2 weeks ago, maybe. So hopefully we'll see those. I think they're going to rush those to market by summertime because they know that's going to be pretty big with people wanting to get in the water.
Yeah.
Well, I know I just called in. I tell you, I really like it. Now it's going to take a while to learn it, but like anything else, it takes time. You're not going to go out.
Oh yeah.
Do the greatest right off the bat. It's going to take some learning to learn all the numbers and more or less the tones and everything. So.
Yeah. Talking about the numbers, guys, I wanted to touch on this again. A lot of people have really been down on it, or not a lot, but a few people. You always gonna have naysayers on any machine, but some people were really down on the machine because of the number range not going as high and not having a 100-point scale. What those people don't realize is it is very accurate because of the multi-frequency. Is it perfect? No, probably no machine is, but it is very good at identifying targets because it's using multi-IQ. And I would recommend that anybody out there don't get caught up in the single frequencies. I can see almost no reason to even use them. The multi-IQ and that machine is fast enough to run it and not have any problems.
Hey, Mike, appreciate the call. You guys, I guess y'all are going home, so y'all be careful, okay?
All right, y'all take care now.
Okay.
Take care, Mike.
All right, see you, Mike. Thanks for calling, buddy.
All right, bye.
Well, we got another perspective from somebody that's using the Knox now, so that's a good testament, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
it is.
Poor old Mike, he's going to have to build another room on his house to put his detectors in. He bought my.
He just bought your CTX.
He did. He bought my CTX whenever I sold it, and so I don't think he's got a Deus yet. But he was using an E-Track, but he's got a lot of machines, and he's a great guy too.
Yeah, give him a week, he'll have a Deus.
It's a good machine too.
It is. What else have you got, Heath, on the Equinox that you can think of? I like I said, I can't see the chat. I don't know if there's any questions that's come up on it or not.
Well, I accidentally closed it down. I probably need to go back and look. Jeff, if you
I'm sitting here like I haven't seen any lately. If anybody's got any more questions, just see. No, I haven't seen any.
I'll probably get off here and think, man, I should have mentioned that, but it always happens.
And we just run by the seat of our pants. That's the way we are. That's what we do. So, but I tell you
Us
what,
too.
Just two rednecks with a metal detector.
This has turned out to be a great show, and I think one that a lot of people are going to want to go back and listen to the archive on as they get their machines, because a lot of this is Greek to me because I don't have the machine, some of the things that you're talking about. And probably have to do it again sometime after everybody gets their machines, because they'll have a lot more questions, won't they, Heath?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and more questions are going to come up. And that's why it's important, guys. And yes, I am a dealer. Would I like for you to buy from me? Absolutely. But if you don't buy from me, buy from a good dealer that's going to help you, that will answer your phone calls on the weekends and whatnot, and that you can call. You can get them at Cabela's. You can get them at some of these big box stores, Amazon and stuff like that. But you call them, ask them a question about the detector. they are not going to be able to help you. So whoever you buy from a reputable dealer that knows the machine, actually uses the machine. It means all the difference in the world.
It does, because if you call Cabela's and ask them about the Equinox, they'll say, "Well, I think there's one there's one in the summer, and then there's one in the fall, and I think it's about the 21st of the month. Like in March and June. I don't know." So those
kids aren't going. They probably ain't even going to know that. They'll be like, "Eagle what?
Yeah,
is that in the hunting section?"
Yeah. But you do bring up a good point, and Butch brought it up the other night. Whenever, I don't know if it was on Relic Roundup or on the History Seekers on Tuesday night, but he said keep the money in the community, and that's a good point to make. Because we are all just one big community. You and Scott's got a show, me and Jeff's got a show, and then Butch has got a show. But we help one another out when we can, and you certainly need to do that whenever you're thinking about buying a detector. Help fellow detectorists out.
That's right. And then don't forget Josh. I mean, Beyond Sight and Sound. I mean, he's helped us out.
Yeah.
You had a question here. Do you have a website, Heath?
Yeah, and this is, I'm not the owner of the store, by the way, guys, and I didn't even introduce myself. Guys that don't know me, I am the host of History Seekers, but I work my paid job is the sales manager at Treasure Mountain Metal Detectors. You can find out more about Treasure Mountain at treasuremtndetectors.com. And of course, like I say, we've got several guys that work there. Brandon Neese, Dr. Tones, if you guys know him from YouTube, he's there. Jeff Lubert, that's the host on Relic Roundup, also on Monday nights. He's one of our sales reps. And let's see, we got Joe up in Ohio. So, I mean, we've got several different guys. We've got a staff section on our website. You can read the bios of all of our guys that work for us and decide who you want to call. I would like it if you would call me. I appreciate it. Just I don't get credit if you go to the website, but I will still help you. But I put my cell phone number in the chat. My cell phone number is 256-463-9308. That's my cell. Call me direct. Call me on the weekends. I don't care. If I don't answer it, I'm probably detecting. If I just don't hear you, I will call you back, though. Just leave me a message.
Yeah. And Tim Henderson, he put, the service after the sale is what counts.
Yep. It's exactly right. And Tim's good about that too. So call some dealer that's going to help you. I don't know. Is Tim a Minelab dealer too? I couldn't remember.
He is.
He's not right. He's working on it.
Okay. Yeah.
He should find something out next week.
Okay. Good deal. And Tim, if I can help you in that regards, I've got really good contacts with Minelab. If we can help you, let us know too. So I'll talk to somebody for you if you need me to. And I forgot to mention Ed Huffman is the owner. Mark Hoover pointed that out. Ed Huffman is a great guy. So he used to sell me all my detectors before I got into sales.
And we do have another call in. Woody Jones has called in. What's going on tonight, Woody?
Hey, Lloyd. Hey, Jeff. And hello, Heath.
Hello,
hope you guys
Woody.
are doing good.
Hey, Woody. Gotta keep up with them Joneses.
That's right. You got to keep with them Joneses. I was just wondering, Heath, since you're kind of a dealer and you do your thing, you kind of get a little bit more insight maybe than most people have. But what is the one thing, the way technology is going, I mean, it's changing every day. What is the one good thing that maybe the detectors in the next 5 or 10 years could possibly do that they can't do now that, would be like exciting? I mean, it would just be like a game changer.
Good question, man. Good question. Some of
it, that's a hard one too.
It is a hard. Well, yes and no. I do a lot of testing for manufacturers. I can't say who. Different manufacturers. Right. I test a lot of machines, and unfortunately, when you do that, they make you sign these non-disclosure agreements. So,
of course, yeah.
I can speak in very generalities. There are some research going on and a lot of this is rumors, and I don't have direct knowledge of it, but I hear rumors sometime that some people don't hear. So there is some research going on, like people trying to add VDI numbers to Pulse machines. Again, I don't know how far along. I don't know if that's true or not. But there is different technologies, like with magnetic type stuff, not kind of getting away from the VLF. And I think several different manufacturers are looking at that. There's a lot of different things. I think in the next 5 years, we're going to see. I don't expect anything massive in the next 2 years. However, I know that there are some companies working on machines in the next 2 years that you're going to see pop out that are going to be good too. So if Minelab is not your brand, don't get discouraged. There are other things coming as well.
Right, yeah. I'm a XP Deus man. Yeah, I love my Deus.
Oh, I am too.
Minelab is, Minelab seems to be top of the line as well. Yeah, I'm not knocking any other detector, but by no means. But it seems like Minelab and XP kind of have their game face on them, and
Oh, they do, man. I tell you, I'm a Technetic. I had a Minelab. I've had CTXs. Of course, I've got a GPX. I had a Deus, and I sell my Deus every year because I beat that thing to death. It looks like it run through a meat grinder. I'm going to get me another one. I haven't yet. I mean, I'm a relic hunter, and I'm a hardcore relic hunter, so we get in them big, thick briars, and that thing looks scratched to death. But, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that your Deus is going to be eclipsed, because it's not, because that is a great machine, and they are working on stuff. I know they are. That's I don't know how far out they are, but they're working on new stuff all the time too. So,
right. Okay.
I know Technetics. I'm a T2 fan too, believe it or not, guys. And I've got a T2 also.
Yeah,
they're a good machine.
Good machine. That was the macro multi-cruiser they have out now or something. That's supposed to be a pretty decent machine too now. So
I mean, it's okay. I got.
Yeah, I mean, it's all changing. Yeah. But you know what? I'll throw this out there. It'd be so sweet. I love collecting arrowheads. If we could come up with a machine that detected arrowheads in the ground, I'll be golden.
Listen,
but anyway, thanks, guys.
Hey, thanks, Woody, for the call. Woody. Good questions.
Woody.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Are you still on, Woody? Seven said he didn't have your email address. So,
okay.
Just send him your email address, and then we'll get back with you.
Put it in the chat.
Okay.
That'll work.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Lloyd.
Okay.
That'll work.
Hey, good call.
Right.
Good
Thanks,
questions.
Guys.
Good to see you, man.
Quarter Hoarder said we need a detector that reads the dates on the coins before we dig them.
I know, right?
Matt says if you can tell a coin's heads up or tails up in the ground, that would be a good detector. So,
hey, I'll tell you something that I threw out that I think would be a game changer, and we had Tom Boykin from White Zone, and we mentioned this to him, and of course he acknowledges it needs to be done. The company that figures out how to tell the difference between a gold ring and a pull tab, when they do that, and by the way, there are companies that are working on that right now. I don't know how far along they are. They think there's ways to do it with different technology. When that happens, that's going to be a game changer. And I know we're all relic hunters, but I want to tell you something. If they develop that, you might see Heath Jones out in the park for a change.
Well, on my CTX,
oh yeah, you're right.
I found I hunted a park. I mean, a schoolyard, and the reason that I did is because I was searching for Civil War camp, and it was in the vicinity. And they actually said that the camp was on the school grounds there. It wasn't. It was on the fringe part of it. But I dug a lot of pull tabs, and I think I finally dug 5 or 6 gold rings out of that, enough that I got to where on my CTX I could almost tell the difference in the sound. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that that's a stretch to think that you could do that.
I don't think that's far off. I think you might see that in the next 3 years, maybe 4.
Yeah. Well, the first metal detector that was ever invented was in the Civil War to try to find the bullets to get them out of their soldiers.
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Look the history. Yep, I found that. I was doing history on metal detectors. And then after that, of course, it killed more people than it helped. But, they were trying to find the bullets in them where they could get the bullets out.
Huh. How about that?
I didn't know that. Did they say open wide and then run the coil down their throat or something? That's why it's killing them.
I don't remember exactly how they done it, but I was reading that history on it. So,
well, I learned something.
And then, of course, then they started using it from. Then you got in all your World War I, World War IIs, and they started finding landmines with them. So,
yeah.
Yeah, and I know Keebs. That was the first detector that Keebs used was a landmine detector.
Hey, speaking of old detectors and technology, I had the opportunity I was out at White's at their factory, and if you guys are ever out in Oregon, stop in and see. They've got a museum there with all the old machines, and Mr. White started out making Geiger counters, and then turned to metal detectors, and that is a very interesting tour. I actually donated some Selma bullets and stuff to that museum too, by the way. Stop in and check them out if you like seeing old stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be a great trip right there. Get to see all of that. Of course, Jeff
Good
says,
people out there, by the way.
Yeah, Jeff says I'm old enough that I used all of them. I used a lot of them way back in the day. Me and Butch, we kind of got in on the cutting edge of all of that. Of course, didn't have the technology. Talking about technology on the Knox, the one thing that I think that they did that made it a game changer was the multi-frequency, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, the problem in the past had been, several machines had multi-frequency. The problem was they just seemed to suffer when you got in iron and trash because they were having to process those frequencies and all their responses. And processors have came so far. You think about your computer from 15 years ago, how much faster is a new computer now? And the same thing, they're using computer chips and processors in these detectors too. And so just the change in technology made that happen.
Yeah. That's true. And, the CTX, the one thing that I learned about it real quick was that it was processing so much information that and E-Track too.
Compared to that E-Track, yeah.
You have to slow down. There's no doubt about it. Let the machine do. Of course, you can say that with any of the machines, even the Knox.
Sure.
You're going to have to, you're going to still have to hunt slow in order to pick those good targets out of the trash.
Well, and I think the limitation's starting to become now how much can the human brain and the ear process, and that's different for every user.
It is, but we're kind of training our brain to listen for certain things, and I think with experience and with time, we're all learning, becoming better hunters because of it.
Oh yeah. And guys, if you've got a CTX out there, I know there's a lot of people talking about selling their CTX. I wouldn't rush out and sell that CTX. That CTX, there's a reason that it's their flagship detector. And don't get me wrong, they're not going to create. Minelab's not in the business of putting their $2,500 flagship detector out to pasture. Okay, there are scenarios when that CTX is still very much the front runner. And that, especially when it comes to target identification, it's still the top dog. So keep that in mind, guys, if you're thinking about getting rid of your CTX or maybe trying to decide which machine, whether it be between the CTX or the Equinox. They are different detectors, and there are some times when that Equinox will have the advantage, especially in iron trash a lot, when you need a lot of speed. But there are scenarios when that CTX would be better also.
If you're a Cohen shooter and you hunt old yards, there's nothing in the world, I don't think, better than a CTX.
Absolutely. And the beach is great too.
Yeah.
Of course, now you got that Equinox that'll hit those little fine gold chains that the CTX wouldn't.
I saw that video.
But
that was
that's pretty
amazing.
impressive.
Yeah.
It even hit that gold chain. The X-Cal wouldn't hit it. I was impressed by that, and I'm not a beach hunter, but that impressed me.
Yeah, and we've got some guys that watch our videos out in California that do beach hunt, and I know Silver Sniffer has bought a Equinox, and they're loving it in the water out there. Of course, he was using an X-Cal, and I think seeing that one video where the gold chain was found, and they even buried that thing under the sand, and you can still read it. And for people that don't know, on a necklace or a chain like that, the detector's trying to read each link. It's not reading the mass of it, right, unless it's connected. It's kind of like a broken ring. If the ring is all together, you're going to get a pretty good sound. But if the ring is broken, it's not as good. But the Equinox ought to eliminate that problem as well. We hadn't talked about rings, but
yeah.
Couple things I think is happening there, making that happen. Having that 20 and 40 kilohertz is huge, but then also having that fast recovery speed, it just hits it. The Deus, especially with that high frequency coil, it can hit, like you're talking about, those broken rings and earrings that are open. That Deus with high frequency hits it well, and of course the Equinox hits it well. So I think that's what you're seeing is the benefit of those high frequencies. And multi-IQ, you get that with both machines, 600 or the 800.
Yep.
I just want to say I've been corrected. Of course, I've looked it up now. It wasn't the Civil War. It was 1881. In 1881, okay. Alexander Graham Bell invented the first metal detector as President James Garfield lay dying of a assassin's bullet. And then, of course, it didn't work out. So, but it was 1881.
Well, that's still early.
That is early.
And how much later?
It would have been into World War II.
Yeah. How much technology has changed since 1881?
It has.
So,
we're testament to that tonight. The whole show is.
I bet you that depth test wasn't very accurate back then.
I'd say
I bet they didn't have recovery speed they needed.
No, they didn't. They were just trying to recover the person, wasn't they?
Yeah.
That's right.
I don't have anything else, and we've kind of kept you on for an hour and 38 minutes, Heath. I tell you what, it's been a great show, and really appreciate you and Scott coming on. And talking about the Equinox, I can see in the future that we're going to have to do this again, as people get their machines, like I said.
Yeah, I think they're going to really like them. And like I say, I would stress again, guys, don't feel bad if you want to get to 600, unless you're going to be gold prospecting. The difference is not as much as you think. Is the 800, does it have some more features and stuff? Yeah, it does. But especially first-time hunters or intermediates, or you're probably never going to use those advanced features. Or if you're just one of those guys that likes to turn on and go, you don't like getting into advanced features, you'll never use the differences probably.
Does the 600 have the advanced features in it?
As far as the iron bias, yes, it does. It doesn't have the range that my understanding, and I haven't, be honest with you, Lloyd, I hadn't tried that. But my understanding is it does. It just doesn't have the range of the ones on the 800.
Yeah. Well, me and Jeff are both thinking about getting one, and don't know if if it's worth going the difference in price for the 800, or if the 600 will. If it's a matter of the headphone and the wireless modules and everything like that, I probably wouldn't turn around for the difference on that. But, if it's got some technical features that are different there, well, that might make a difference. But either one of them's a good machine.
Yeah,
Ron Bishop he got a 600 and he said he doesn't regret it at all.
Yeah. I've heard that a lot from a lot of the people that got the 600s. They've been very happy with them. I haven't had any complaints yet, and I've only had one one minor problem with the user that got it that had a malfunction. It was small. It was an arm cuff issue with the screw was not just right for the hole. And I mean, that's, sometimes things like that are going to happen, but I haven't had any units that were DOA or knock on wood. I haven't, but I've been very impressed with the reliability out of the box too. So,
well, Jesse Rogers put we need to take up to get 7 knocks. Well, hey, what about Jeff? Hey, take up for me.
Man, I'm telling you, Jesse just left. Jesse got a 600 from us too, and I think he's liking that 600 as well.
I don't have a problem with you guys taking up for me. I really don't. If you guys want,
as long as I get to use it all the time.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Hey, Heath, before we get off here tonight, give all your information again about Treasure Mountain and also y'all's podcast, History Seekers, and your personal phone number and all that stuff.
Yeah, my cell phone number is 256-463-9308. And like I say, if you call me and I don't answer, just leave me a voicemail, send me a text message to that number. I will get back to you as soon as I can. You can see all of our line of everything we offer at www.treasuremtndetectors.com. And then you can read about us on there in the staff section, who we are, what we did before we sold metal detectors, all that. And guys, if you like listen, if my voice doesn't grate your nerves too bad, come over and listen to us on History Seekers on Tuesday night. You can find us here on the Spreaker platform. We're also on iHeartRadio, but to listen live, you have to go to Spreaker, just like this show, and type in History Seekers. And I'm even a host on Relic Roundup on Monday night, a co-host. So I stay pretty busy, Seven.
We've had a busy week this week.
You are pretty busy.
Yeah.
Mark Hoover put Treasure Mountain Detectors, free Equinox for everyone. Just call Heath.
Yeah, I tell you what. Thanks, Mark.
Scott sent you.
That's right. Got to throw that in, and I'll give you Scott's personal cell phone too.
That's right.
He likes calls about midnight or after.
Yeah. That's his working time right there. You need to call Scott.
Yeah. Scott answers all of our calls after midnight.
Yeah. And
24/7, huh?
Yeah, and be sure and send all of your Auburn paraphernalia to Scott too. We'll get you his address and everything.
Exactly, War Eagle.
Hey, Heath,
big rivalry between me and Scott on that football.
Yeah, but I can tell y'all got a great chemistry. I love y'all's show. I listen to it each week, and I'll vouch for them. They do have a great show. A lot of great shows. Beyond Sight and Sound with Josh Kimmel, American Digger Relic Roundup with Butch Holcomb, and Heath is also on that one there. And All Metal Mode, it was on Monday night, and Hardcore Metal Detecting's on Thursday night and Saturday night. So, support the whole group. If you can't catch one show live because you're listening to another one, and we do kind of butt heads every now and then, you can check the archives and everything. But we certainly do appreciate you coming on with us, Heath, and looking forward to getting together with you and Scott and doing some hunting here for too long.
Thanks for having us on, guys. We've enjoyed it.
It's our pleasure, buddy.
And we appreciate everybody.
So all of our, we sure do. We appreciate everyone out there that's listening to the show. We couldn't do this without you, and this is why we do it. And then please hit the like button. So,
by all means, and you can catch us live on Spreaker, but we're on iHeartRadio and we're on YouTube. This episode here will go to YouTube. And iTunes, and I don't know, there's about 15 or 20 different places that we go to whenever we finish this up. I didn't realize that there were that many that shared the thing, but we appreciate everybody that tuned in live, appreciate everybody that that was in the chat. Appreciate Ed and Mike and Woody for their calls. Great questions, and certainly do appreciate Heath and Scott for being on tonight. You got anything to add, Jeff?
No, I just appreciate all the listeners, and like I said, hit the like button, and then we appreciate you listening.
By all means, and be sure that you come back at 8 o'clock next Thursday Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central Time next Thursday night. If you guys will kind of hang on the line there for a minute, I'll close the show out, and we'll say our goodbyes then. But we appreciate everybody joining us here tonight on Relics Radio. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Relics Radio. We really do appreciate it. Be sure and join us live each Thursday night at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern here on Spreaker. Or you can catch the archive show at Relics Radio on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, or iTunes. Please take a minute and hit the like button, and be sure and follow us so that you'll get notifications of all of our upcoming broadcasts. You can also find us on YouTube at Digging with Seven or Tennessee Jeff, or you can check us out on our Relics Radio Facebook page. If you'd like to get in touch with us, then send an email to diggingwith7@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. We hope you'll join us next Thursday night, and until then, get out there and dig some history.